Smash that limiter!
Hello, everybody. How's it going? You there, Spliffy? Still there? Were you just waiting to yell and scream? All right. Yeah. There we go. Adjusting. All right. So, it's been a bit crazy, running a bit late today, but that's because we don't. No, I know what's going on here. They can't hear Spliffies. Hang on a sec. Why? Why is there no desktop audio going on? Here we go.
Off stream.
Yeah, so basically, all right, so to explain why everything is all sorts of fucked, also why my mic is blowing out at the moment. Hang on, let me turn that down just a little bit. There you go, that should be better. Okay, so my computer died at 2:30 Friday morning.
In the morning?
In the morning. So I had done an update and my computer turned off on Thursday night. And I woke up to 2:30 Friday morning to what sounds like a smoke alarm going off. So I immediately jump out of bed thinking fire. And when I jumped out of bed and I had a sus, I realized that my computer was on saying critical error, fix immediately, NVMe drive failure. And I'm like, huh, okay, I'm turning you off now. So I turn it off and I'll deal with it the next day. I'll figure out what's going on. So fast forward to Friday night. I do a diagnostics. I am pretty IT sav myself. I know 90% I know 100% hardware issues. I'm a hardware guy. I know hardware and computers back to front. Like, I usually know what a point of failure is in terms of hardware. Like, I know exactly what was going wrong with the M.2 drive. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
You an M.2 drive on your laptop?
Yes, I do. I got an NVMe. Yeah. Gen 4, fucking 4,000 megabytes per second.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fast. That's why I'm always in games before you guys, because I'm always... Well, me and Ray are at the same time now, because Ray's got my old hard drive, which is a SATA, but it's just as fast as the M.2. Anyway, so I run diagnostics. And I know that laptop has been having issues with lots of things. I've seen lots of different errors come out. I've seen motherboard errors. I've seen USB bus errors. I have seen that hard drive error come up recently once. But the fact that I can boot fine sort of made me... I was like, it is an error, but like, if it happens again, I definitely know the drive's going on. I don't know whether it was like, it was trying to do your check and something went wrong. And then anyway. So in the diagnostics process, I found that the biggest problem to the laptop out of everything else is insufficient power.
Right.
Oh, your mic's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So insufficient power. So running the diagnostics was hard because the computer could not provide sufficient power to run the diagnostics. So the battery's dead in the computer. That's a normal thing to have happen on a laptop. Laptop batteries are shit. But the problem is when the laptop battery doesn't work and you have it plugged in, 240 volts is supposed to just pass straight through your battery into your internal, into your motherboard, right?
Yeah.
So something's going wrong with that connection for it to not provide sufficient power, which could be the culprit for a lot of issues on that computer. So yeah, anyway. So then I ran diagnostics. So diagnostics came back all clear on the motherboard and the USB bus, which makes me think that it's actually a power delivery issue that's going on the laptop, which isn't good because that's something you can't fix, unfortunately. You can't just simply replace that component, especially on a G7 laptop. This is the reason why I don't like Dell. I've had many arguments with a lot of people about how shit they are. For some reason, people can not understand that when you have an 80% failure rate, something's wrong, and they do. So, and that's because I have known 20 individual computers over 10 years that are Dell products fail. 20. I've never known. That is more than HP. HP usually slow down and become annoyingly crap after a year, but they still work. But Dell,
just barely.
Dell, they just fail. Like the hard drive's the biggest thing that fail in, and I think it's because they buy the cheapest brand hard drives. I always buy a Seagate, and Seagate's shit. Because Seagate buy the cheapest controllers and cheapest. That's why Seagate fails. That's why you gotta, if you want to buy a Seagate product that works really well, you gotta buy their upper class stuff. So like their gaming edition or their CUDA. It's like orange, which is designed for gaming and NAS storage. They're the two that I would buy if I was going to store stuff. I wouldn't buy their PC edition or the Barracuda. Those two are shit. They just fail, have a high failure rate.
I think I have a Barracuda in mine. Let me double check.
Yeah, they do fail a lot. I mean, it's a lottery. You can get one that would work perfectly fine, but your 1 out of 10 works fine.
Yeah.
But 6 of those 10 have failed. so that's how high it is. It's they're not that great. I've got a Seagate long storage desktop hard drive that I use for my Xbox, and that failed within a year. I don't have anything on it. I just have it. I don't even know why I have it plugged in. I just listen to it scream. I don't know. Maybe it's therapeutic to me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
So anyway, I then tested the boot. So this is a weird thing, right? So I tested the boot path. So this is the pathway from the boot drive, so my C drive, which is the M.2 drive, to see whether Windows would boot correctly on startup. They came back all clear, which is weird. But then when I go to test the actual C drive itself, it couldn't diagnose it. It couldn't test it. It would take super long, and then it will come up with an error that it took too long, and then it would crash. So that immediately told me that there's something going wrong with the C drive. So I'm like, okay, that needs to be replaced. That's failing. This is the second hard drive that's failed in that computer, by the way. So there's obviously that power delivery system, I think, is starting to show its gremlins over the time. I think that's what killed the hard drive that was in it. That when Ray was running the computer, it came with a 2 terabyte hard drive, and that failed. The memory controller that failed on it, and funnily enough, the memory controller failed on the M.2 drive. That is brand new. It's less than a year old, and I replaced it last year. So excellent. Obviously, that laptop, there's something wrong with its power delivery system, which is causing issues. So what I'm going to do is, yesterday I bought a Crucial Gen 4 NVMe drive. Cost me $130.
Yeah.
I paid an IT specialist to clone it because I don't have a cloning dock myself, which I'm going to get one because
I have one there. I highly recommend them.
I'm going to get one because they're incredibly useful, and you don't need a computer to clone with them. You just put the 2 different drives, put a source drive, and you put your clone drive, and you just press the button and it does it for you, which is way better than using a computer to do it.
Oh, yeah. I remember when before I cloned my hard drive, I was looking into all the software for it, thinking this is confusing as hell. But then I looked up a cloning tower, and I realized, oh, that is so much easier.
Yeah,
I'm going to get that.
Plug and play. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
The normal hard drive ones, the 3.5 and the 2.5 drives, they're cheap. You can get them for like $35, and any of them on Amazon or eBay, they'll work. Go for like Oricon. They're a really good brand, or any of those sort of brands are pretty good. Anyway, but the M.2 drives are actually expensive. They're like $130 something.
Yeah.
So what I had two options. I could either take it to the IT guys, get them to do it and have it done and dusted before podcast, which is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to stream today. Or order a cloning device, buy an M.2 drive online, which would be cheaper than going into a store, and then doing it myself. But that could take days, and I need my computer. So I was like, and it would actually cost more than going to the RT place. So I decided to go, obviously, the RT place cheaper, be done in the same day, etc., etc. Also, warranty and all that sort of stuff comes in handy as well with this sort of stuff. So that's what I did. They went and done it. I got charged $183, which is pretty cheap. It would cost me over $200 if I was to do it myself, because I would have to buy the cloning dock myself. And then also a 1 terabyte NVMe. And yeah, done and dusted. The computer's working so far without any issues. The diagnostics all came back clear before I started this podcast, which is why I was a little bit later than normal. Plus I was having a nice morning with Ray anyway. Yeah, so that's why the title is just do it yourself. I honestly think that people in this day and age, with the information at hand, at our fingertips, that we should start doing more things ourselves instead of paying someone to do it. We'll try to, at least. The IT people, they were nice. You know, they're all right.
They're all right. They're all right. Yeah, they're all right.
They're not bad or anything like that. Like, they're good customer service. They can take like ages to do something, but you know, it's not like it's not they don't care. It's just there's not many IT places in where we live, especially reputable ones. A lot of them are really fucking dodgy. They're probably the only reputable one that I would admit, and their prices are reasonable. I'm still charging like probably 25% markup, which is a given.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you know, they're really good in the sense that like they can get like simple things like that done in a day if you don't have the tools to do it. But I honestly think it's best investment to get the tools to do something like that. It's easy as anyone can do it, and then just later down the track when something goes wrong, you can fix it. But everyone should educate themselves on computers, because there's such a daily thing in our lives that I just think that we should do it. And to show those that don't know on the podcast. Sorry, gotta move the desk out of the way. Hang on. I'll be back. Only take a second.
No worries then. Yeah, that's all good. But yeah, it's really important to... Actually, I think when I built my computer about 5 years ago, and I did about 3 months of solid research about all different kinds of components, what they do, how they connect to your computer, before I went ahead and did it. But it was actually a lot of fun. And I bought mine built mine, well, obviously 5 years ago in 2018. I think it was the last of the increases in prices due to crypto mining. And so as a result, like, RAM was much more expensive. Hard drives were actually pretty much every single component on a computer was a lot more expensive because of that. But that's besides the point. It's a lot of fun to learn to do things yourself, and it's actually that much more rewarding. It is convenient to just give it to somebody else, and you can go do something else, but then you have to pay for it too, which that can get in the way and can become expensive.
Yeah, and especially like you can save a lot of money if you do it yourself. I'd say the same thing with
Absolutely.
working on cars and stuff like that. Like you can save a lot of money doing it yourself. So this is the replacement hard drive for it. So it's a 1 GB. I advise people when it comes to boot drives in this day and age, especially with Windows, I would never go anything below 1 TB. Yeah, you can save money on a 500, but Windows alone will feel like this drive. All I have is Windows 10 on it, and like my programs like Steam's not even installed on it actually. Steam's on my game drive. OBS, Discord, like simple programs are the only things installed, and it's still over 300 gigs storage. And then each update increases over time. Actually, so 500 gigs at start can work, but it'll fill up real quick. Trust me.
My one is my first boot drive for my computer that I built. It was 120 gigabytes.
Yeah.
It a few years ago it basically was filled to the point where I think I had about 1 gig on it. And I was trying to figure out how to get more space, and I thought, nah, I just got to get a new drive. And that's when I bought the clone or the cloner.
So this is, it's a little hard. Let me turn this light off. Hang on.
That's a RAM stick. Shove it in the RAM slot.
So this is what an M.2 drive is. This is a Gen 4 NVMe drive. So this is the failure drive. So this still has all the information on the computer. So basically what I did is I bought a crucial version of this, which is this one here. It's just inside the packet. And then they just transferred the information from this drive, cloned it exactly the way it is onto the new drive, and then that way it's just plug and play. Plug it into your computer, and your computer turns on exactly the way it was when you turned your computer off.
Oh yeah, that was one thing I was absolutely terrified of. Was like thinking that this is not gonna work. But I plugged it all in as if I was rebuilding the damn thing, and it just turned on.
So the reason why this is failing is there's a memory controller on it, which is that little doohickey thing there. This little fucker, right there. You can see it.
You can see it coming off.
There. That there, because this is a PNY, a Pony brand. It's like a generic cheap brand. I bought this because it was cheap. It was like $85 or something like that when I bought it. So I bought it because it was cheap, and they were like, yeah, they're not too bad. You know, they're all right. But after a year and it's already failed, I don't think I'll use that brand again. He said it's kind of normal for these to go because they use same thing with Seagate. They use cheap controllers, so yeah, that's what happened. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to, when I eventually, because I am building a new computer, I've got more and more parts coming. I've got the uni fans have come in. I'm waiting for the case, power supply, mod cable cords. I'm going all out. This is going to be a high-end build.
I'm very excited for this build.
It's going to look so gorgeous when it's done. So I'm in the process of saving and building. Essentially, I'm doing it bit by bit, which I wouldn't recommend normally to do, but in my situation, I kind of have to. So when I get a new build, I've already got another 2 terabyte 990 Gen 4 NVMe drive, which is way faster than that. It's like 7,000 megabytes per second read write. That's what's going to have my game. And then the C drive that's in that currently is going to become my C drive in that computer. Because basically, when I get my new computer, this laptop's going to be retired, like my old laptop, where I'm going to basically gut out the hard drive space, hard drives out of it. and then what I'll probably do is I'll probably just like leave it as an empty shell essentially, and just put it. I don't like throwing things away, so I'll just be a hoarder and just keep it into storage and be like, you deserve to retire, and then look after it, sort of thing. Because I'm like Sheldon in that regards, you know, fond memories. I can't just throw that thing away. It's got a personality. So, in terms of building,
You never know when you're going to need it again in the future.
Exactly. In terms of building your own computer, all right. So these are like really simple things to get. Right. Get yourself a Bunnings ratcheting screwdriver and a bit driver set, and that will pretty much allow you to do anything and everything on a computer. And in terms of maintenance, I highly recommend getting one of these suckers. You can get them on Amazon. I paid like $100 and something for these. It's a vacuum. It's a little blower.
A vacuum. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Little blower. This thing's really cool. It's called a compute.
Looks like a kettle.
It does look like a kettle. It's got like a dust filter in there. You can replace it and whatnot. But yeah, this thing's really good. So like if you want to clean all the dust and stuff, particularly if you got carpeted floor, which the office has carpeted floor, has like little cleaning brushes as well, which is really good. Comes with all sorts of stuff. But these are really good for like maintenance and stuff on your computer, because a lot of people don't dust their computer, which is stupid. You should always dust your computer. Like I even take the laptop apart and dust it. I take the Xbox apart and dust it. Anything that's got a fan in it, I pull it apart and dust it once so often. I'll probably start doing it more often now. The Xbox Series X, I haven't pulled apart yet, but I will soon.
Can they even be pulled apart?
Oh, they are so easy, man. They're the PS5s and Xboxes are the best fucking inventions ever when it comes to seriously. No joke, they are so simple. So you've got 4 screws at the back.
Yeah.
One of them is behind a warranty sticker.
Of course.
Little trick of the warranty sticker. Get a little heat gun, like a hairdryer, and you warm it up, and you just take the sticker off gently and expose the screw, and then you undo the screw, and then you lift the whole casing out. Because what you do is you undo the 4 screws at the back, and then you just slide up the entire external casing, and boom, you're in your Xbox. You can get access to anything in the Xbox. Because the way they design the Xbox is in a stack system.
Yeah.
So the motherboard's like that. Your cooler's attached. It kind of sits like this, and then goes 90 degrees, and then sits up like that, and got the heat fan, and then the fan on top of it. It's like really simple design, super easy to take apart and maintain, which is what I love about it.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but the 360 was impossible to take apart without essentially destroying the system, right?
No, I've taken apart a 360.
Okay.
You just need to know what parts to walk out for, and you need to basically have pretty much the plastic PC prying tools. Because the problem is on the 360 there were tabs that interlocked like that. They're like hooked like that. So you needed to get this is fucking weird to explain. You need to get the pry tool in here like that, and you push it up like that, and then you need to grab another one and push that tab to pull it out like that, and then you can undo it without breaking it. I've pulled apart 360s. I've pulled apart the Xbox Ones, and the easiest ones. I think the order of easiest to hardest. 360 is probably definitely the hardest. The first gens, that is. The slim editions were a lot easier to deal with. And I think they learnt their lesson because how many warranties they came back. They realized that they can't pull these apart and fix them. So they made it easier for themselves. They would probably be the two. It would probably go easiest would have to be the Series X and S. They're the easiest to pull apart. Then the original Xbox, like just Xbox. Then the Xbox One.
Mm.
Then the Xbox One S and X, which are even easier. Actually, no, the other way around. Xbox One S and X easier than the Xbox One. Then the 360s are the hardest. Yeah, the original Xbox was pretty easy. A lot of people used to pull them apart all the time and have like mods and stuff like that to hack them and shit. And the PS5 is really easy to take apart too.
Fair enough.
So this is a pretty good picture of how to take it apart. It's really, really, really simple. Here you go. So that's it, taken apart. So you can see the screws here. One.
Oh.
There's two here, I think, from memory, and then no, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take apart those screws, and the back plate comes off, and then the whole thing is exposed. That's the fan there. So this is the top of the Xbox here.
Yeah.
That's the bottom. That there is the that's the motherboard with the, you can see the cooler there. That's the cooler. So that's the motherboard is like across these two pieces. And then basically all the air comes through the bottom of the Xbox and the side of the Xbox through this giant fucking fan that they've got on it. The fan's really easy to take apart. You just unplug that connector there and it just slides out. Which is also really good if you need to take apart the fan to clean it, because they do get a lot of dust collection on it and you need to maintain it. And you can also buy an RGB kit and you can piggyback that connector and then put the RGB strips on the top of the fan, and you get some bling in your Xbox, which I think was a missed opportunity for the Xbox, a bling. So that's the Xbox completely taken apart with everything. That's your cooling block. So that's the big block that attaches to your...
Sorry.
That's all good. That's the cooling block that attaches to your attaches to this. That's your CD drive. That looks like some sort of dampener, and that's both your essentially a motherboard split up into these two different parts. I think that's the CPU, and I'm pretty sure that's the graphics there, and that's the cooling fin stack. I'm not too sure what that is exactly. It might be like some sort of... I'm not too sure what that is. It's located on top of there. It could be maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I would have to look that up. And then obviously your fan there. So it's really simple. The whole thing attaches to the base like that, so you can just slide it out, and then it's all one piece. Oh, that must be the power. That must be the power pack. That's what that is. That's the power supply, I reckon. Because you plug it in the back there, and I reckon that must be the power supply. Probably power comes into here and then up routes through there, back into there. That's what I reckon that could be. Maybe. And then the PS5. No, not that. The PS5 is just as easy. PS5, you just undo this cover plate. They just snap off. You don't need to unscrew them, and then you can get access to the two fans. These don't cool as effectively as the Xbox. I don't think the PlayStation is as good as a design as the Xbox. I do think it's a unique design, and the way they engineer it is like really clever, but cooling capacity, they're just not as good. But they're unique, they're a unique console. I can't knock the aesthetics of them and like how designed they are and stuff like that. Like I would own one. But yeah, it's not that hard to pull these apart and then fix them yourselves. The one thing I like on the Xbox versus the PlayStation though is on the Xbox you can on the PlayStation you can upgrade the hard drive. So just like what I did with the computer where you clone the NVMe drive, PlayStation 5 use NVMe. Gen 4, they don't use that stupid proprietary hard drive system that Xbox uses. So essentially, you can use any compatible speed. You got to have the correct read-write speeds. M.2 drive, and you can essentially say, for example, you are sick and tired of this stupid 900 and something gig hard drive that they come with. That's their boot drive, right? theoretically you could take it apart, clone it, and then put a new drive in that's 2 terabytes. It'll work. And they also have an additional slot where you can add an extra drive. And all you need to do is just plug it in, and then it will format it yourself as long as it's compatible. And you can add like another 2 terabytes. So it's a lot easier to upgrade the hard drive storage on a PlayStation 5 than is the Xbox. The Xbox, you have to buy that stupid proprietary hard drives. US kind of looks like a memory card. I got one. I got the 2 terabyte one on special. Normally like $800 in Australia, but I got mine for $500. So it was pretty cheap.
Which sounds like they shot themselves in the foot.
They did. I think they should have went for an NVMe drive, honestly.
Or just like a drive that you can swap out whenever you want.
Yeah. So another little thing that I think everyone should buy when it comes to maintenance of computer hardware and stuff. Obviously, like this is a nozzle bag.
A nozzle bag?
The nozzle bag for the
nozzle
the
bag.
So it's got like a blower with a little nozzle in it, which is handy.
Yep.
So this thing's really cool. It's one of those cheap fucking like infomercial crap, but it actually works. So I use this for a lot of different things. This is like a 5-in-1 cleaning kit. So you got a brush, which sticks up, right?
Yep.
So then you can get in your keyboard and get in there and clean all the dust on it. And then in the back
Instead
here,
of flipping it over and patting it on the back.
Yeah,
really
and then
violently.
This here you've got a keycap remover to remove your keycaps. So then
Does that work on
keyboards? It works on any
all
keyboard.
Keyboards or okay?
Yeah, it works on any keyboard.
Okay.
You got this little felt fluffy thing, which this is actually really good if you have wireless earphones. This is really good to like get in there and clean the gunk out of the like when you put them in the charging pod. So like to clean the charging pod.
Yeah. And
then you've got this rubber style and a little brush on there. And this is really good for like cleaning the dust out of your ear pods. It's really good for like, for example, I'll just pull the keycap out. Like, it's that easy. This is really good for like, you know, getting in the corners and cleaning out all your dust and stuff out of it. Yeah, it's a handy little thing.
A live demonstration as seen on TV.
That's it. And I'm not sponsored by this. I don't get any money or anything like that. I'm just showing you because it's cool. I'm just going to put my keycap back on. Yeah, it works good. All right. And then it also comes with a 99% fuck, what's it called? It's alcohol.
It's alcohol.
It's
Don't
alcohol.
Drink it.
It's rubbing alcohol for cleaning. So you can spray
you drink
this.
Rubbing alcohol? Actually, I need to look this up right now.
It will make you really sick.
Can you? Well, I mean, alcohol makes people sick anyway. So
yeah, but it will make you blind sick.
Well, I mean, like, have you ever drunk enough alcohol to be blind?
No, but it's usually methanol that they're using it. But anyway. So yeah, so that's like
ingesting only 8 ounces of rubbing alcohol can kill you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Can rubbing alcohol be made to
Steve, what's
to drink?
Up? What's up, Steve? So
hello, Steve.
So yeah, doing your computer stuff yourself is really good. Same with cars and stuff like that. Like, for example, if you want a new stereo speaker system, do it yourself. Like, it's really not that hard.
You just need you'll need a soldering kit. You'll need a soldering kit, some solder, 60-40 tin lead solder to desolder the terminals on the back of a speaker, and then you should be able to essentially plug it in. Oh, not plug it in. Solder and use speaker on, and then slap that baby in.
Well, you don't even need that. You could just use fucking electrical connectors if you really wanted to.
To solder the cable to the speakers.
No, so usually car speakers come with their own wire attached to them, so you don't need to do that. But you could just essentially buy these, which is what my brother used in my old VS Commodore, and I said, actually no, he did it with my UHF as well when we're wiring up the UHF and the lights. He so those brass connectors, we use that in my car. And the reason why we use that instead of soldering, these are pretty strong as well, these connectors. So you just put your two different pieces of wire in there and then you just screw them down like that.
That's a BP connector.
Yeah, and then you just basically duct tape it together, electrical tape it together essentially, so that it doesn't
Use
come
electrical
loose.
tape. Duct tape is too difficult, and electrical tape is more appropriate anyway.
Exactly. So you use electrical tape and you tape it all together. Now the logic he was explaining to me why you would use that over soldering is something was to go wrong and you needed to take out the appliance that you've wired up. It is much easier to do so using this than it is soldering it. He also said the one advantage of using this as well is if, say, for example, something was to go wrong, you hit a bump or something and it comes loose, right? And you lose power to your device. And you need to test where the fault is. Is it the device itself? Where's the power ending, essentially? Using those connectors, you can use a multimeter and actually test the connector itself to see if the power is going through it or not. So, where if you had a solder, it's a little hard. You pretty much have to pull the whole tape off and then have a look where you could just stab a multimeter probe inside that without having to take the tape apart and test it anyway. So he suggested things like that. You can also use these heat shrink things. So what you do is you put your connectors in there and you get a heat gun. And what it does is that's actually solder. See that ring there in the middle? That's actually solder.
Yeah.
So when you heat it up with a heat gun, that actually will melt and then form a bond on the wires. So you can use them as well. They're also really handy, but they're same as soldering. You still have to cut the wire if you need to take it apart for whatever reason. Where if you use connectors, you just unscrew it and then you can replace it. It's a lot easier.
That soldering, that heat shrink stuff that you just displayed there must be the most terrifying thing ever. I would not use that.
Really?
No fucking way.
I don't know. I've known people have used them. I have never used them. My brother's never used them. He's seen them used by apprentices.
You can make a cold solder, or it may not connect properly at all. You probably also have to tin the ends of your strips of your wires as well.
Yeah, so I'm not too. Yeah, so that's essentially what it looks like there. I'm not too keen on that. The good thing about it, I suppose, it does waterproof it when you heat shrink it on there because it's no different than just getting rubber heat shrink over it. Because that's a pretty barbaric way of explaining that it works with waterproofing, but I would never do that, and you should never put wires in water. Even if it's got insulation, you never know. Water can get into little tiny nicks or micro holes. Water can go through pretty small shit. So
yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
There's a reason that the Titanic sank.
Yeah. Or what you can even do, you can get these, and then just do it. These are connectors. These are
thanks. these are
these the connectors. They connect together. Whatever. You could.
Well, you have to wait. One thing you have to be concerned about that one is you have to get the polarities correct. Yeah. Before you put them in the connector, because if you get that around the wrong way, all sorts of shit can go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But in saying that though, obviously do your research before you do anything.
You do a lot of research.
Yeah, don't just go gun ho. Fixing something, especially wiring. You know, people's cars are burnt now because they've done DRI stuff not properly. Should always do your research. Take your time. If in doubt, get a second opinion. Trust me. Whether it be a friend that's done it before or look another video up that maybe explain it better. Hell, there's tutorials on anything and everything. Refer to an automotive book. You know, there's lots of different avenues you could do. And then another little cool thing that I've got here. Check this out.
burning wires and thinking things burning is as a result of too much wattage draw, which is essentially what happens when you have a too low resistance on any voltage source.
This is like I've had this thing for so long. This is an old Wish product, right? It's a fucking plasma lighter.
A plasma ladder?
Lighter.
Oh, it's one of those things.
Yeah, it's cool. I've had this for years. This is another like do-it-yourself sort of kit. In Australia, it really sucks. We're not allowed to have self-defense items on us. Period.
Just go to the gym. They can't take your arms. The government can't take your arms away from you.
So this is really cool because this is really good for camping and stuff like that, because rain, hail, or shine, this will light a fire for you. If you like want to light a campfire.
I heard a beep.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's really high pitched. It's high pitched, yeah. So yeah, this is like a really good camping tool and stuff like that. It's better than a gas lighter because once like the filament, right? You know, the one that's got the wheel on it, and smokers use them all the time. The ones next to pens are the most stolen thing in the world. Coincidentally, both owned by Bic. What's going on there, Bic? Bic is still in business somehow. I know, right? It's because everyone has to keep buying their products because they get stolen. So I bought this for camping purposes, and then one day I wanted to find out how much voltage this goes through this thing. And so don't recommend doing this at home because you shouldn't. So what I did is I got a key and I put it in between the two prongs and I turned it on while holding the key. Yes, I purposely electrocuted myself. It hurt a lot. And I realized that this is a really effective tool, both in camping and allegedly effective in self-defense when a dog attack occurs.
Specifically a dog attack?
Yes, because you can't hurt humans. So take it as a grain of salt. If a
dog allegedly,
if a dog attacks you or your dog, you are legally allowed to defend. If a human attacks you, you're legally allowed to defend, but you can go to court over it and then having to defend yourself that it was in self-defense. Where a dog attack, you don't have to defend that because no one gives a shit about dogs.
Complaints, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it would just be like an argument. Oh, the dog attacked me and my person. Oh, okay, cool, no worries. Well, you sort it out between yourselves. So this is really good. So say, for example, you're walking your dog and your dog's on the lead and someone else's dog comes and attacks your dog. There's really a lot of danger in this because, one, you can't just simply grab the other dog and get in between your dog and that dog because you will get hurt and a dog will rip you to shreds. The most effective method of dealing with a dog attack, which I've learnt not by doing, by watching someone do it, has experience, unfortunately, because his dog attacked our dog, was grab them by the back rear legs like a wheelbarrow. And then you pull them backwards. They have no control. They lose full sense. They freak out. They open the jaw and everything. And then you just hold them by the back legs. That's the best effective way to have control over an aggressive dog. Doesn't matter how big or how small they are. This works on all breeds. It can be a big fucking Great Dane that's ripping your dog to shreds. Grab them by the back legs. They're completely fucked. The other method is this motherfucker. It hurts. It won't kill anyone and it won't kill a dog. It will burn the fuck out of them, but it won't do any lethal harm or anything like that. It would just hurt.
So how many volts are actually running in between those two prongs?
It's not much. It would be about probably.
Did you get a reading on it?
No, there's no way of me testing it. I reckon honestly, it's about 12 volts.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, because the prongs are like really fucking close together. So it's not much of a gap to bridge. I reckon it could be about 12 volts. I'm not 100% too sure. It doesn't have any markings. It doesn't tell you. Yeah, I honestly think it's about 12 because it hurt, but it wasn't like sticking my fingers in a PowerPoint hurt. So,
Right.
and yes, I have done that.
Same.
Yeah, I was young and set up by my older brother. So it would be enough to deter the animal. It will zap them, it will burn them, and it makes a high pitched noise, which is also really annoying. Which would be really annoying for a dog. So that if you're worried, if you've been attacked by a dog before, that is a really effective way to get someone else's dog off your dog, save you having to get hurt. It will be enough to get them to let go, and then you can grab their rear legs. Or you grab their rear legs and they're not letting go, and you use that on them. And you can carry it around with you. And if a cop pulls you over, it's a lighter. They're not going to question you on it. So, and it's not like a taser. It's not that high voltage or anything like that. Because tasers are illegal in Australia.
What is a taser?
It's a low voltage taser. No, it's not. It's a lighter.
How many volts?
So, again, don't take this as legal advice because
50,000 volts.
Yeah, tasers are gnarly things.
Yeah, so actually, fun thing about that is that if that's the human body is about 50,000 ohms. So if you got 50,000 volts going into you, you've got 1 amp of going into you, which would suck.
I don't
know if that would kill you, but
no, it won't kill you. It can knock you out though.
How many amps is I should really be really worded to be really careful about how I word this. How many amps is needed to kill a person? How many amps can kill a person? Oh shit.
That's funny. It's 5,000 volts in a cattle prod.
Currents between 100 and 200 milliamps, 0.1 to 0.2 amps are lethal.
Or 8,000 volts for this little one. Ooh.
So yeah, it wouldn't be lethal. So how? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. How many ohms?
Look how gnarly that is.
Hang on.
As a cattle, that's a cattle prod.
Is
fuck me.
A person.
I would not. I would not want to be. I would not want to be zapped by that.
The human resistance is about 10,000 ohms. So never mind. You don't have 1 ohm. You don't have 1 amp. You have about 5 amps running through your body when you get hit by a taser, which is what 20 times the lethal dose.
I know. Okay. If you have heart condition, the taser will kill you.
I mean, yeah. If you have a heart condition, boo, will kill you.
4,000 volt shock and buzz trappers. So that's another thing as well. Technically, you could just buy a cattle prod and be like, I have cattle on a farm that's not here.
So you live in
you live in the suburbs.
You live in the suburbs.
Yeah,
you live in the suburbs. Yeah, have you met my wife?
Every now and then I go to the countryside with my wife, and sometimes she needs, a little bit of cattle prodding. Nah, don't do that. That's a joke. But yeah, it's really weird in Australia. Like the fact that we can't even have like pepper spray. Like, could you imagine if there we go. Could you imagine if we were allowed to have pepper spray? How many people of assault, especially for women, how many like women that are assaulted yearly can at least get away from their perpetrator? And like pepper spray doesn't hurt anyone; it just fucking incapacitates you for ages. Like it gives you, that's all it is to give you enough time to run away. I do not understand why our country refuses to let us look after ourselves. It's not cost effective either, because like the way I look at it, if a person is able to pepper spray someone, we'll just use pepper spray because it's non-lethal, right? And it will not kill you. if you pepper spray someone and they aren't able to harm you, right? One, that saves that victim from physical abuse, so therefore medical expenses are saved. Two, psychiatric help is not needed as bad anymore because they got away. They didn't have lifelong trauma. Someone running away from someone potentially harming them is completely different to being harmed by that person. You're more likely to recover a lot faster and have slight on edgeness, like, you don't trust people, that sort of thing. But it's nowhere near as bad as if something happened, essentially. And then three, it saves the issue of the police as well, or emergency responders having to experience coming to a scene that has happened. So therefore it saves the trauma and the psych help on them as well, because it impacts more people than you'd think. It doesn't just impact the perpetrator and the victim, and by impact the perpetrator, I mean the perpetrator obviously commits the crime and therefore you have to deal with him in legal manner, but you also have to deal with the victim, their personal health and trauma, but then you also have to deal with the family associated with them's health and trauma, and then you have to deal with the first responders' health and trauma as well in dealing with this interaction, where the perpetrator was stopped then and there in their tracks before anything escalated even more. That person flees and gets away. This person's dazzled. Now you only have to deal with minor issues on the victim being, scared out of their mind, giving you clear statements because they're not dealing with the emotional trauma of being physically harmed or whatever. So therefore they can give you accurate descriptions and information, allowing you to prosecute the perpetrator a lot easier and get rid of him out of society faster. That's the way I look at it.
Just out of society.
I honestly think there's certain people that really do deserve the death penalty. This isn't really Twitch topics and stuff like that, but I'll give an example that happened a few years ago in my local place, where a person was released out of prison. He wanted to go back, so he murdered someone.
He wouldn't go back to prison.
Yeah. So he murdered
That's
someone.
a bit of a concern in itself, don't you think?
Yeah. He was in there for a long time. He didn't like being out, so he murdered someone. And he didn't just murder them in a simple way. It was a pretty bad, horrible way. I believe if that person that was unfortunately the victim, if they had some sort of self-defense, they might have survived and got away and be alive today. So I honestly think, I'm not saying guns should not be a self-defense item, because too many things can go wrong with that. There's too much collateral when it comes to guns and firearms. But honestly, pepper spray, at least that,
Just go to the gym. The government can't take your arms away from you.
Yeah, self-defense classes in gym can help, but only so much. If someone comes up with you, no matter how trained or fit or physically abled you are, if someone sneaks up to you from behind, it doesn't matter how big or strong you are, you're done. Once that person hits you in the back of the head, you're done. Especially if they catch you off center and you fumble. Once you lose your footing, you're pretty much a goner. Doesn't matter how big or strong you are.
Nothing gets past me. I will catch them.
But yeah. But, you should always take precautions and stuff like that, because, unfortunately, the world is not a pretty place. There are monsters out there among us. But,
Among us?
Yeah. Among us.
Among us.
I live in an area where there's been several murders and several crimes on a regular basis. So, not as bad as America. My cousin, she will have like 8 to 10 shootings in one night. That's
8 to 10 what?
Shootings in one night.
Oh, wow.
She's a paramedic in St. Louis.
Oh.
one of the most dangerous cities in America, or actually is the most dangerous city. She works on the bad side too, the side that the police don't even go through without backup. So
Huh.
yeah, she said pretty bad, but she loves
Yeah.
it. She's one of those ones that loves that sort of high stress, high
I
adrenaline
don't understand
situations.
those people
I guess they're
who
adrenaline
love high
junkies.
stress.
Yeah,
Yes, adrenaline junkies.
I guess that's what they are. But yeah. So everybody should do things themselves. Take action to their own hands, especially when it comes to like maintenance of do your own stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, like everyone can put it together IKEA furniture. If you could put together IKEA furniture, I think you can do a lot of different things. IKEA furniture sucks. The diagrams are never easy to follow. So I think that if you can do that, you can do anything. I thought that I was gonna like really struggle, and I did struggle mounting the TV to the wall by myself. But the only reason why I struggled is because the wall was so bogged. So it was showing that there were studs there when there weren't studs there. So
You struggled there because the struggle was necessary for growth.
that's it, growth. I learned that when in doubt, you can go on the other side of the wall and test for the studs and find them that way. And that worked. It worked really well. So, yeah. And like all this IT stuff, automotive stuff, and that, people got to realize as well. I haven't gone to school. I haven't done courses. I haven't done any of that stuff to learn all this shit that I know. I had done this because one day I got annoyed with something, fed up with something, and I don't have much money. So I can't afford to pay someone to fix it for me. So I have to learn to do it myself. And so that's what I've done over years and years and years. And then I grew passion for fixing things and doing things myself. And so I researched and done all sorts. Like I've, and my dad's always been like that as well. Like he's always been a do-it-yourself sort of bloke. All the stuff in their house has been built by him, except for the rear pergola and the paving of the back, which is actually really funny. So when they paid to get the paving done, so their house is 3 levels. So you've got a bottom level, middle level, and a top level. It's a weird shaped house. It's a big long line. It's a long house, but it's not a deep house. The rooms aren't that big, but the family room's large, which the family room used to be a carport, then it was turned into a room, and the lounge room is really long, and then it goes in like a U, and then the kitchen like is separate. So like the center of the house is the lounge room on one side and the kitchen on the other side. Anyway, so the only things he hasn't done is he didn't do the kitchen himself because they did that through insurance, because the builder that built this house didn't build the house correctly and the roof was collapsing. So they end up having to be lucky enough to claim insurance on it. So the insurance came out and hired a builder to repair the roof and fix it. Coincidentally, I was the one that helped out with insurance by falling through the ceiling. So I was up on the ceiling I think I was doing some wiring for dad for speakers or something like that. I was with my brother, I think. No, yeah, it was. Yeah, I was running wires. So my brother got me. He's a Sparky. So my eldest brother's a Sparky. He got me to run wires for him on the roof. And my dad in the roof has got flooring. So through the center of the house, basically, he's got 2x4s lining like all the way up the top. Not 2x4s, actually, they're floorboards. Yeah, they're floorboards. So he's nailed floorboards all across the roof of the house, and that way you can, because I used to use it for storage, so you can walk from one end to the other without having to, step on the beams and do that fucking monkey business you have to do on roofs, which is nice. But unfortunately, where I stood up there, that floorboard had just deteriorated, I guess, over time, and it gave way while I was standing on it, and my leg went through the ceiling. And my parents were really pissed off at me at the time. It wasn't as bad as when my brother went through the ceiling. That was funny because
he fought all the way through it.
So he put the cat in the roof for some reason to try and get the cat to chase the birds because we had birds nests in the roof. So he was trying to get the cat to fucking eat the birds. So he put the cat in the roof. Teenage logic. And it was in the hallway. So you got the lounge room, the kitchen, and then you go up and there's a hallway, and then that's where the bedrooms are, which is on the other end of the house. And he fell on the hallway ceiling next to the front door. And it was so fucking funny because he had the cat in his hands. He was crossing. He went outside of the area where Dad had the floorboards. And so he's going to the side of the house where there's no floorboards, so you have to beam to beam. And he slipped. And his whole fucking lower torso from his hips down fell through the ceiling. And wow. Me and my mum just happened to be in the fucking kitchen at the time. And we just hear this crash and bang and shit everywhere. And we go up and have a look. And you just see my brother's legs dangling like this, freaking out, kicking frantically while he's holding himself up with the floorboards. Screaming at the cat, blaming the cat. The poor cat fucking legged it out of the roof, jumped down the stair, jumped out of the fucking manhole and everything. Oh, it was fucking funny. But yeah, then years later, I put a leg for the roof, and then my parents went through insurance to fix it. And when they went to fix it, the guy looked at the roof and was like, "Your roof wasn't built to standard." And then next minute they found out that's the reason why the house has been cracking and the wall's been cracking and it's been moving a lot is because the roof's actually collapsing. So they ended up having to get a builder out. They gutted the roof out, and then they did the joiners. And while they were doing that, they did the kitchen as well. And then my parents also floorboarded. They did that myself. Me and my dad did that together. We floorboarded the lounge room and the dining room and the hallway. So we got rid of the carpet and floorboarded it all up. And then the kitchen was renovated as well. So it worked out well for my parents. And then the back, they paid someone to do the top level and they fucked up. So the stairs were supposed to be like small gradual stairs with a rounded stairs. But no, these dumb pricks, fucking two Besser block high stairs. So 2 sandstone best blocks, which is what it's made out of, which for the retaining wall for the upper level. They did 2 of them high for stairs. You know how fucking steep that is? So they made them square, steep, and unusable. And my parents were so pissed off with them. They're like, "You got to fix all this damage that you guys have done," and they never came back. So they were like, "Fuck you're not getting any more money." And they ended up paying some old guy, just one guy and his son, and he did the lower level, and he did a beautiful job, and he did it in 2 days. Where the other mob was a full team of 6 guys, and the boss who was hardly ever here, which is why they fucked up the stairs, because he had the plans and everything. It was all drawn for them. But he had the plans and didn't tell his bloody apprentices and workers what needed to be done. So they just did whatever they thought was necessary, and they did a shit job. The old guy by himself did an excellent job. Nothing has moved. It's completely level. Upstairs fucked. It's unleveled. It's pavers are lifting already. Not long after they were installed. They did a shit job, and they did it in 2 weeks. Where the old guy did it in 3 days. 2 days he finished it. 3 days, basically the last day he did a cleanup. With the others, they didn't do that. They just left their shit everywhere.
Ew.
Yeah. So my dad built a fernery. He's done a whole heap of plumbing, around the backyard. He ran a new hose line down to the side of the house so he can run sprinklers and stuff like that. He's done a lot. Like he's taught me a lot over the years. And then obviously my elder brother who's a Sparky, he's taught me a lot as well. So I can run Ethernet cable, which is easy. I know how to wire up wires, plugs, electrical ports, antennas, how to tune antennas and stuff. So yeah, it's good to do it yourself, peoples. Saves you a lot of money.
It can actually be a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, and there's an accomplishment at the end of it as well. You know, with anything that you do yourself, you look at it and you go, "I did that. I did that myself. I'm happy with that." You feel so gratified.
Yeah.
So you know, it's pretty good. Like my brother at the moment is my oldest brother's at the moment is fitting his shed with insulation, and he's doing gyprock and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Also, if you're thinking about putting insulation in your shed, I recommend using insulation 5, 4 and above, I think. Try go 5, but insulation 4 and above, I would recommend for sheds. You need that high rating of insulation because sheds get really fucking hot. I would know because the shed that we lived in, Ray and I lived in, shit that gets hot and cold. And the problem with that shed is they use the wrong insulation. They use the same insulation that you use on a house, which a shed gets a lot hotter than a house, so you need to use a higher rating insulation. So 4 and above, I recommend. 5 is probably what I would go minimum. I'd go 5 and above if it was me. It is more expensive, but trust me, if you want to insulate your shed and have it as a party room or a man cave or hell, just a workshop, honestly, just do it. It will save you a lot of time and money in the long run because you won't get nowhere near as hot. And if you put an air conditioner in there, your air conditioner won't have to run as hard because it doesn't have to cool it down as hard. Highly recommend doing that. So yeah. Hey, Punky Woggy, you still there? I was gonna ask you how's it going?
Do you own a bike?
Me?
Yes.
What type of bike you're after? Push bike or motorbike?
Push bike.
I do.
Hell yeah! I fixed mine yesterday.
I own a mountain bike. It's an Anaconda brand. It's pretty shit, but it does its job.
I own a BMX.
Ooh, BMX. Is that the one? So you've got the back brake then, the one where you can like pedal backwards and it brakes it?
No, no, it doesn't do that actually.
Doesn't do that?
No.
I like BMX bikes that have those back brakes. They're cool.
I used to own a bike like that, but that was many, many years ago.
Yeah, it was when I was a kid. I had one like that. I've always liked mountain bikes. I think it's because I always tend to go off like trails and stuff like that. I do asphalt. But yeah, I love riding bike.
I like BMX because you've got one gear. You either cope with it or you get better.
Yeah, yeah. But mountain biking is more of I think mountain bikes make you work out harder though.
No, the sprockets are specifically designed so you don't have to work out so hard.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, because you go to your higher gear ratios so you can go faster, but you have to put more.
The momentum is there already.
But you have to put so much more pressure into riding though.
No.
You can make a BMX bike make it a workout. A mountain bike make it more of a workout session, I reckon.
Yeah, if you start on the highest gear ratio, it'll turn into a workout session pretty quickly. But if you start on the lower gear ratios and work your way up, then it's less of a workout.
No, I do it the other way. I do it the highest and go low.
What?
Because when I ride my bike, I do it for a workout. I want to fuck myself.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
That's not how that works. It's like starting a car in 5th gear and working your way down to 1st gear.
No,
Thinking, this is so much easier on the car. Look at me go.
So what I do is I start in the higher gears in the mountain bike, right?
What? Yeah, okay.
And
Why?
then
I'll get to that later.
And then when I get to a hill, I'll go to the low gears.
What? No, that's literally not how it works.
But it's so much easier to ride up the hill when you're in a lower gear than in your higher gear.
Yeah, well, you're not meant to go to like the 1st gear unless you're going up a vertical cliff.
Yeah, well, I usually go 2nd gear when I'm going up a vertical cliff. But
right.
Yeah, but because so where I am, it's reasonably flat, right?
Yeah.
So if I work harder at the start, I get the speed and the momentum up. So when I get to the hill, I can use that speed and momentum, and then I change down to a 2nd gear.
That is what you're supposed to do.
And then I carry that momentum and speed up the hill without having to work as hard.
Yeah, well, you have sprockets with the smaller diameter for higher torque ratios, and you have the sprockets with a larger diameter for higher speeds. That's the way that works.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not crazy after all. See, it makes sense.
No, you're crazy.
That's all right. It's all right. I've got the motorbike as well that doesn't work.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah, it's a little. Well, Dad says it's not mine, but he did get it for me. He can say what he wants, but he did. He got a Honda Z50 motorbike, and I'll show you what it looks like. And I learned to ride motorbikes on it, and it's a fun motorbike. It's still like it can carry a full-grown man around without issues because it was converted as a golf caddy motorbike.
Yeah.
But the problem is the carburetor on it's gone. Oh fuck, that's a mint condition one. Alright, I'll show you. So it's one of these bad boys. That's it there. Has the blue seat. This is metal, it's not plastic.
That's rough.
Has the tires like that and whatnot. But yeah, it's one of those.
You keep talking about that. I need 30 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good.
That's okay. I just need like 30 seconds to carry something quickly.
Let's see how expensive Z250s are.
Yeah, let's go down a rabbit hole.
Fucking grand for this one. Jesus Christ. So it's just got like a little small 50cc motor on them. The carburetor's there. On ours, the carburetor seals need replacing. They're all drum brake as well, which is kind of shitty, but I've fallen off this thing. But the cool thing about these motorbikes is, so say you change gears, if you don't let go, because they have a centrifugal clutch, therefore, like, see, you don't have a clutch on here, you've only got the brake. So if you change gears while you're still accelerating, this whole thing will fucking lift up. Even if you're a big, heavy guy, it will still lift up. It's amazing how much torque this little motor's got. It's so fun. I love them. But I would like to get it up and working again. This one's in black. I've never seen one in black before. He's even got a pod filter and everything in it. That's a bigger motor. What the fuck? What is that? 2019 Honda Money Z50 mini bike. It's a modern one. Huh. So they still make them. I thought they discontinued them in the 70s. So the bike that I got's a 1970s version. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Whatever. I would love to like do the bike up and put a bigger motor on it. That'd be fun. Put like a 110 on it. It's so cool. Yeah, so the bike that we have is, so it's this design. That's blue though. Seat's blue. But it's that design fuel tank. It doesn't have lights, doesn't have this thing on it, doesn't have that thing on it.
Okay, 30 seconds has passed. Thank you.
But yeah. People are asking a lot of money for these bikes. 4,000, 3,000.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. 5,000. See, that one's a restored one. I can understand that being expensive because someone's put the time and effort to restore it. Look how clean it is. So that there is what they look like, pretty much brand new, but yeah, they normally had a blue seat instead of a black one. Yeah, they still made these bikes right up to recent times. But yeah, fucking hell, that's cool. But yeah, I'd like to get that bike up and running. Just need to take it to a Honda dealership and get new seals and O-rings and stuff for the carburetor. It'll still run. They run on anything. Run on fumes. Fucking, they're an awesome bike.
Just stick an oily rag in the fuel tank and it'll go.
Would you ever get your motorbike license?
Fuck no.
It's been a serious debate for me for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I've opted not to because I just don't trust people on the road. Like, I know my skills. I've been riding motorbikes since I was little. I've ridden bikes. Like all sorts of my teenage years and whatnot through friends because I went to ag school. So a lot of friends in that I had bikes, quads, all that stuff. So we used to hang out at theirs, used to ride their bikes and stuff. So I've ridden bikes like a lot, and I've done a lot of crazy things in them and stuff like jumps and all that. But I don't trust drivers. Like, I drive a big fucking full drive, and cunts don't see me. I would be shitting myself on a bike where I'm completely exposed, and someone could just sideswipe me, and I'm done. Like, it scares shit out of me. I would love to one day to have a block of land where I can have a motorbike and just ride.
But then technically you won't need a motorbike license.
No, I won't.
Anyway.
Exactly. There's other things as well, like that'd be kind of fun. Say I had a dirt bike and I had a motorbike license, I can go down to Beachport and muck around in the sand dunes legally because I'm licensed and the bike's registered and whatnot. You could do things like that, but there's a few bike tracks and stuff around that you could ride on, but you have to have a license and registration because they count as roads, even though they're trail bike paths. But I don't trust people, man. They just are stupid.
We already knew that.
This was saying to Ray last night, because there was an accident the other day. Fireys had to cut someone out. It was pretty bad. And it was on like a low speed road. It was a 60-kilometer road, and it was like an accident that bad. Like, I don't get it. But in our modern era, there are significantly more deaths and crashes than there were previously. And yet our cars are safer. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. So what doesn't make sense about that for me is that we have all these. It's actually illegal for car dealerships to sell cars that don't have all the EBS and ABS since 2013.
Yeah, only private dealers can
what's
sell.
going on.
I think these modern cars with all these safety features have made people so complacent in driving that
they're not
paying attention. And these safety measures aren't foolproof. Okay, a big example, right? The new 2023 Ford Rangers, right? They're a heap of fucking shit for starters. I don't like them. Anyway, besides the point. Their ABS, their driving sensors are in the rear. Get any dust or dirt on them, they fail. So that means that someone's driving next to you and the car alert of someone being next to you doesn't sound off because it's not on anymore.
Hello, Reggie. How are you?
Hey, Reggie, how's it going? So a lot of these modern cars these days, their sensors fail a lot through dust, not cleaning them properly, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that people are becoming so fucking complacent with this technology in safety on these cars that they're not actually driving properly. You shouldn't rely on technology to drive for you. You should rely on your bloody eyes and ears and your senses and your thought process, you know?
That's why you turn yours off.
Yeah, I do too. All mine are turn off. Yeah.
I don't know if I can turn mine off without doing anything crazy.
You'd be able to turn off traction control, but you wouldn't be able to turn off ABS. ABS is something you should have on anyway. ABS is actually really handy. But like all your lane assist stuff, like your self-driving, it's not self-driving, but your lane, you keep in lane stuff. I always turn that shit off when I get in a modern car. My parents have it, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that in my car.
Yeah.
My car's too old for that.
Yeah, it's annoying. My car's before that time as well, which is good. I just have a reverse camera, which is really handy. It's just basically like a fourth mirror.
And the other thing too is that here's a scary thought. If you've got the, because I didn't even know the whole stay in your lane thing existed.
Yeah.
So if you've got this whole stay in your lane thing, and the car will warn you when you're veering off track.
The car doesn't warn you. The car moves you. So the car will take control of the steering wheel and center you.
Doesn't that just give people more warranty to pull out their phones and start texting? Because like, that's all right. The car will take care of itself.
That's what they do, and that's
why cars self autocorrect now. What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They take control of your steering wheel. Remember when I told you when I was driving the rental car, the Renault? The Renault was like this highly tech car, and like I was in the drive-through McDonald's, and it was fighting against me, trying to get up to the fucking window to pay. Yeah, because it kept thinking I was going in a collision, and it kept reefing me to the left.
Oh fucking hell!
It's fucking annoying. Yeah, and I think I think people these days are on their fucking phones too much when they're driving.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then when they have all this self-centering technology and self-braking, because cars do that now. If you are on cruise control and the car gets too close in front of you, the car will brake itself and slow itself down. Like all that technology, that radar technology, is making people too complacent. Now they're on their phones. And I've seen it time and time fucking again where they're on their phones not paying attention, and then boom, they rear-end someone. Or boom, they T-bone someone because someone pulled out and they weren't paying attention.
Oh, God.
Like, yeah, it's so annoying. While you're speeding. Exactly.
While I'm speeding.
You know, there's something, this campaign in our state in particular is like, they always go, speeding kills. No, speeding doesn't kill. Idiots kill. Dumb shits kill. Speeding doesn't. You can be speeding in a straight fucking line doing like 50 kilometers over the limit. As long as you don't act like an idiot and no one else is on the road, you're not going to die. You'll be fine. So when you act like an idiot and there's other people on the road, that's when you die.
Stingrays kill. Oh my God.
No, they just took out a person that was very, very ignorant.
He was gonna change the world, man.
Stingrays, they said no to that. They didn't like him approaching him. They didn't. Stingrays did not want their cloaca checked.
What? I didn't even know stingrays have cloacas.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to know. I've just realized.
All a cloaca is just one hole that everything comes out of.
Yeah.
So fish and sharks have cloacas. Or do they call them? Or do they call them a vent? I think they call them a vent.
Oh my!
I think they have another name for them, but yeah.
If I'm not gonna finish that. That's really.
I know, right?
I was gonna say if I climb in one of them, does that make me an imposter? That's so wrong.
Oh my God.
So many levels.
Oh my God. I remember we get some big fucking rays down our way too. Have you ever seen a stingray?
Other than the aquarium, no.
Really?
Yeah.
We get shitloads
I
of
don't-
them down our way.
I don't go anywhere near the water, man. That's where sharks are.
Oh, come on.
No,
Why you have to be a pussy?
because water.
Or can't you swim?
No, I can swim. I just choose not to.
Mate, sharks are beautiful creatures.
They also have teeth.
I have teeth.
Don't come swimming near me. I'll bite you.
Oh, that sounds really wrong. What about you, Reggie? Would you swim with a shark?
I'm gonna guess no.
I would. I have.
I wouldn't.
I have.
Yeah, I know you have.
I have swum with sharks.
Maybe. Oh, don't be a fence sitter.
Got to commit, mate.
I like fish. I like eating fish.
So I've
Yeah,
swum.
I agree. I agree with it, Reggie. Ocean is scary.
So I've swum with one of these bad boys, both in captivity and in the wild.
What is that?
That's a tiger
bull
shark.
Tiger shark.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at his teeth. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Oh,
creature.
that would. I know. I think I'd learn how to fly that
So
day.
I've swum with one of these guys. I've swum with one of these guys.
Swam back with a megalodon back in grammar school. I used to be somewhat obsessed with megalodon when I was a kid.
I've swum one of these. These guys are probably the most dangerous shark in the world. These guys,
shark.
these guys are more dangerous than fucking great whites. Like, you're in the water with them, they will attack you. Like, they're assholes. I've swum with. I haven't swum with a great white. I've done a study with shark net. What the fuck is it called?
Shark cage?
No. That electronic device that they now sell for surfers to deter sharks. When they were testing that,
no idea.
we were doing work. Well, we weren't doing work, but we were like doing research and learning about it and all that sort of stuff and studying it. These are the world's fastest shark, the mako shark. These guys are batshit crazy. Tuna fishermen have to deal with them all the time. And by dealing with them, they have to jump in the tuna nets with them, grab the fucker, and then fucking throw it over the net. And they do it.
Tuna.
Yeah. I've swum with a hammerhead. I've swum with these fuckers. I've swum with a grey nurse, which are an awesome shark.
I have a new life goal.
I swum with these.
I'm gonna strap I'm gonna strap a Atreides utility belt on a hammerhead shark.
I've swum with the bronze railer. These are wild, by the way. Like, I've swum with these guys wild. Down at my local beach. I've swum with. What's the fucking name of this? Wobbegons.
Wobbegons. I have not swum with any fish. I refuse to swim.
They're cool.
I refuse to swim with fish.
Dog sharks, they're awesome too. Dog sharks is awesome. That's not a dog shark.
That's just a regular shark.
Okay.
Wobbegons are the ones that look like they've got that moustache, right?
There you go. Port Jackson shark. We call them dog sharks as well, but swum with these guys. They're cool. We get them all over the place.
That's a shark?
Yeah, look, he's rolling on his back and paid dead.
What determines? How do you define a shark?
Well, the biggest telltale sign of a shark is like the type of ventral gills, the how many dorsals they've got, the shape of them.
Looks about as pretty as my XG.
Oh, they are lovely. They actually have a spine up here as well. You can sort of see it there. Big spine there. Step on them, fucking hurts like a bitch. They also can stab you with them when they flail all around, but they're pretty gentle. Look at their teeth. Yeah, I've swum with all sorts of sharks and stingrays, eagle rays. These guys I've swum with. Common stingray. These guys.
What's your favorite liquid life?
Liquid life. What do you mean by that?
What's your favorite thing that lives in the fuck? What's your favorite thing that lives in water or the sea, the ocean?
Oh, I've swum with these guys too. I've seen these fucking guys get so big. I've seen one that was like 3 meters in width. Like, I've seen one double the size of that one there.
I'm googling right now, Reggie. What the fuck is that? Is that a?
They're so cool. Yeah, I've swum with all sorts of stingrays and sharks and shit. Water snake, eh?
Saddleback.
I've also swum with sea snakes. The black and white banded one. I actually don't know what it's called.
Black and white snake.
No, it's actually got a different name. It's like a sea crate or something. No, it's not a sea crate. I can't remember. I've swum with the olive sea snake, I think it's called. I don't know, it's olive like. It's like one of the most venomous snakes in the world.
Of course.
And then I've swum with moray eels and stuff like that as well. They're huge. Scary motherfuckers. Don't ever stick your head in a moray eel den. Wouldn't recommend it. Would you stick your head in a den that's got one of these things living in it?
Well, I mean, that's to assume I'd even get in the water in the first place. It's probably not. You had a pet eel. What was that like?
Yeah, would you stick your head in something that lived in?
Probably not.
Look how fucking big they get. They get huge. Like, seriously, the one I came across was like, its head was that big. It's fucking massive.
They're really personable. What does that mean? They have a personality, I'm guessing?
Yeah, eels are pretty cool. Like, look at the size comparison. There, it's a surf. That's a diver and a big ass moray eel head. Look, looks like a bad fucking set design on Dinosaurs, the old show with the fucking green thing.
That's really unfortunate. Where'd you put the set? Under the water.
Look how big that fucker is. But yeah, they're huge. So look at them. Big fucker. I don't think you would ever want to piss one of these off.
Why is that? I wonder if they're like a python in terms of like they'll just wrap around you and like twist you into pieces.
No, they just bite you to shreds.
Oh.
Yeah, they just latch on and they shake around. So I have swum with one of these fellas. And one of these fellas. These are sea snakes. They
decided to put them out in the sea.
They are incredibly placid.
Placid? Oh, they just chill. They're just chill as fuck.
Yeah, you can swim right next to them and they'll be perfectly fine. Banded and olive. They they just sort of keep swimming. They follow Dory's motto to the letter. They just keep swimming.
Eel. What's a tire track eel?
I don't know.
Let's have a look.
What about you, Spliffy? What's your favorite sea creature?
Probably the great white shark.
What? They look weird. Those tire track
great white shark?
No, tire track eel.
Ew. They do look weird.
They kind of look like a loachy.
Yeah, they kind of look like that worm that you have on a string.
Yeah. Fucking weird. They look like a loach.
I watched Jaws when I was way too young, and I was both traumatized and mesmerized at the same time. Yeah, exactly. They look like that little worm on a string
Yeah,
that's
they
like
do.
in fluorescent colors, and you wiggle it around. It's like, I'm a worm.
I think the
Would you
only
still love me if I was a worm?
see, I have never had sea saltwater fish. Had freshwater fish. Had all the different fuck, what are they called? The African fish. God, I can't remember what they're called. Cichlids, yeah. I had cichlids. I had Oscars, knife fish, which is like basically like an electric eel type fish. What do they call them? A night, something like that. Big ass plecky, which is like a catfish.
Oh.
Ghost knife, yeah, big fucking ghost knife. Two of them, one died and the other one was massive and lived for a little while until something happened to it. I can't remember, but yeah, and a big ass purple jaw or something. What the fuck was it called?
Purple jaw.
No, they're a big fish. They grow as big as Oscars, but they're pretty aggro. Very characteristic. Flower horn. That's what it's called. Flower horn. They get like a big knob on their head. And a couple of shrimp. Had yabbies, goldfish, all that sort of stuff. I will never ever have fish again. I hate them. They're so hard to keep in Australia. Just because of how hot our summers get, you have to like cool the water down. Otherwise, it gets like 40 degrees in the water. It's ridiculous how hot they get. I'll never keep axolotls. And this is really sad.
What?
Axolotls are completely extinct in the wild now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the last lake dried up that they lived in. Yeah, axolotls are now extinct in the wild.
Far out.
How sad. That is so sad. Axolotls are amazing creatures. They're so cool. But yeah, the natural caves and river systems that they live in have dried out. And they're not designed to handle no, the others have dried out as well, Reggie. Yeah, they only come from one place. But like the cave system that it all links is all dried up as well. But yeah, they're completely extinct now in the wild. But they're not like other fish where the eggs can survive without water. So with that dried out, they're pretty much gone. Which is really, really sad. Is there a really cool fucking salamander? But yeah.
Mexican something.
Yeah. Yeah, they live in it's a very cold place where they live because like naturally they have to have cold water. But yeah, that's really, really unfortunate. I would love to have if I was to have a seawater setup, I would have a mantis shrimp. Is it a mantis shrimp? You know the one that punches?
The boxing shrimp.
Yeah. They call it a mantis shrimp, I think they are, but they're fucking cool. They also got great personality. Apparently they hit the force of a 22 projectile.
20. Oh, okay.
22 rifle, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys.
22 long rifle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Look how cute they look. Look at them. So that's their claws, these things here, and they fucking they punch you with them. Super, super hard. Let's see if I can bring up a video.
Imagine punching its way out of the aquarium that you built for it.
Yeah.
Just runs into town and starts painting the town red.
Did someone say KFC?
The spear mantis.
I've already noticed that YouTube's detecting my ad blocker, and then I automatically disable their anti-ad blocker thing, which is really easy by just clicking.
I didn't even
"No,
realize you could disable it. I didn't
Yeah,
even think that
you
was an option.
disable it by just going, "No, I don't have one." They need some working on it, but yeah, it doesn't work very well. But it's a pretty big shrimp too. Like they're really long.
Yeah.
Because like normal shrimp, like they're not that long.
He's just doing a burnout.
Yeah. Alright, enough about. I've heard some people that have them and they've been hit by them. Like they do make you bleed. So
Video of jumping spider. I love jumping.
You want to see a video of my jumping spider? I'll put it on Discord. You got a video of a jumping spider? I would love to see that. Are you gonna send it to me? What type of jumping spider do you have? My favorite jumping spider is the giant jumping spider because they're so big and funny. The Hullius giganteus. That's what it's called. It's like a giant. I don't think they're that big though. That's the thing. I don't reckon they're that big. They're not as cute as They're not as cute as the fluffy ones. But yeah, that's it there. This one here. They're not as cute as little fluffy dudes like these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because look at him. He's not really that cute, is he? Kind of looks like a white-tipped spider.
Yeah, I can see that. I was gonna say huntsman for that first picture you showed, but that's look a bit like a miniaturized
It's a white-tipped spider. These fuckers hate these guys. Kill them all the time.
What funnel? Are those funnel webs?
White-tipped.
Oh, white tips.
The bites they do. They fucking... People say that they don't cause necrosis, the white tips, but they do. Because I've been bitten by one and it caused a massive infection. They're gnarly fucking creatures when they bite. Like, they're not pleasant. Yeah, they're not great at all when they bite. I don't like them. We get red backs and all sorts of stuff. It's funny that so no spider in the world except one, right, is dangerous to humans. Okay? Now, people say the brown recluse spider and all that sort of stuff is dangerous to humans. It's not. It's not true. There's only one spider in the entire world that can kill you. Can you guess what it is, Spliffy?
Funnel web?
Yes. The one spider in the world that can kill you is found here in Australia, because, you know, Australia loves things, and it's this fucker, the Sydney funnel web. Fun fact, Sydney funnel web bites your dog. Your dog, apart from allergic reaction, will be perfectly fine. Because the Sydney funnel web's venom is designed to be lethal to primates.
Ah.
How does that make sense? A creature that has lived in Australia for thousands of years, millions of years, I should say, millions of years, predates humans. Like, yes, indigenous people have been here for a very long time, but predates them as well. And their venom is specifically dangerous to primates.
Well, I mean,
Crazy.
How long have monkeys been around for?
There's never been a primate species lived in Australia. Humans are
Well,
the only primates that have ever lived here.
maybe they're the devolved version of the devolved version of a much larger spider when Pangea was around.
They are part of the tarantula family. All funnel webs, trapdoors are still part of the tree spider family. So they're the same family that like your tarantulas, trapdoors, funnel webs, all that. They're all part of that family. Um, that distribution thing is not true. The Sydney funnel web is only found there. Funnel web spiders are actually found all over Australia, but Sydney
Yeah.
funnel web is a specific spider that is found to be the most venomous spider to humans, which is only found in that local area there. And when you see them, you'll know what they look like too, because well, they got that distinct red patterning to display threat. But yeah, it's interesting that their venom is really potent to humans. So
Oh, and they can survive in water for 7 days.
have you tried to drown them?
No.
Have you come across one yet?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I've never come across a funnel web.
Because
No,
you've lived in Sydney briefly, haven't you?
like when I was like a kid. I would have been
Yeah.
5 when we got out of there.
Oh, okay. So you don't remember.
No.
I've come across heaps of spiders. My favorite is this wuss spider species that we get in the desert.
0.2 days in Australia.
I wonder if I can find it.
I think my favorite I don't know if I have a favorite spider. Probably daddy long legs easily.
Yeah, they're chill. They just do their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't really
I have to
bother
look under
anyone.
every rock I see. Well, that's just how you find them, Reggie. You're not thinking about this. You just leave the rocks alone, and then the spiders will leave you alone. If
That's
you look
it.
under every single rock, they'll come and find you.
Yeah.
But the best cause for action to prevent spiders from wanting to enter your home is to smear Vegemite all over your face before you leave.
Don't tell people to do that, Spliffy. That could result in a real gnarly misinterpretation of that offensive action that people do when they smear black paint on their face.
Just your ears, then. Only your ears.
Yeah. This
In your
day and
nostrils,
age,
too.
you can't
You have
do
to stick
that.
right up in your nostrils.
Even though you're talking about spider protection, but you know, people won't see it like that.
And your feet. You have to smear your feet before you put your socks and shoes on.
Yeah, see, that'd be alright.
I have to look for roly polies.
He's talking about slaters. We call them slaters here.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You know what slaters is, what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call them roly polies. Which is weird to me, but yeah, whatever.
Vegemite is offensive to everyone who doesn't like Vegemite.
That's it.
I love Vegemite.
Where the fuck? Actually, I have an idea. Trying to show you the wolf spider picture that the wolf spider that you get in the desert.
Oh, the camel spider.
No, not the camel spider. They get fucking huge too.
Yeah, they get enormous.
Yeah, they're cool. But I like them because they're also not venomous either. Sorry.
No, they just eat you alive.
Yeah, this guy. This motherfucker. Alright, here we go. This was Sparta. Look how pretty
Does that
he
look?
is. Look at the colorations on him. It's like a violet blue with some greys and some
Yeah.
cream colors. Yeah, he was pretty big too. He's about that big. Like span's about that big. Size of like a saucer, like a little.
All right.
Yeah, he's pretty big. He was so cool. We were just like watching him. Just check him out. But you know, we found lots of different creatures and stuff like that. You know, this is like the top up of them.
Reggie, I'm concerned about your house. How many spiders are you breeding?
He has like frog and insect collections, man. That's the top of them.
That's kind of scary.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, Reggie, do you have dart frogs? Poison dart frogs?
That's not a spoder.
Then this is I think this is a flat-tailed Dunnart, which is a cute little marsupial mouse. They're carnivorous. They're really cute. Strawberry dart frogs. What do they look like? I'd love to see what they look like. They wear black boots. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, I got to like see lots of different creatures and stuff like that. I did find a trapdoor spider there as well.
Wow, $150 each? That's fucking nuts.
Open link. I can't show it on the Discord. Yeah, that's cool. That's expensive though.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
Because that's really interesting with poison dart frogs, Spliffy. Did you know that in captivity, poison dart frogs or dart frogs are completely harmless in captivity?
How does that make sense?
So in the wild, they eat a lot of insects and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And those insects have certain chemicals in their makeup, which combines with their body and causes the poison that they produce.
Yeah.
The neurotoxin. So in captivity, they don't eat those insects that they eat in the wild, so therefore they're harmless.
Oh.
Yeah, I did not know that because Americans have heaps of different captive poison dart frogs and or dart frogs because they're not poisonous. And so like I wondered like how do they handle frogs that are, you know, supposedly lethal to hold. And it's because in the wild they don't they eat their diet is what makes them poisonous, where in captivity they don't eat that diet, so therefore they're not poisonous. It's cool.
Fuck yeah. That's actually so. Oh, so it's kind of like what shall we say? Like is a side effect?
No, it's not a side effect. I would say it's an adaptation that they can do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of cool though. So yeah. All right. I think that we should leave and find someone to raid into. I don't know who we should raid into, but we should raid into someone.
Is our favorite person online?
No, he's not online, unfortunately. I don't know. Let's look at podcasts. See who's in the podcast category. World of Warcraft players. Hell no to that. Oh my god. There's way too many fucking chicks that are wearing basically nothing. in
Yeah, no,
tools.
let's skip out on that.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. What about you? Podcasts about lists.
A podcast about lists. How
I
peculiar.
am interested to find out what this person's about. Yeah,
Yeah, so am I, actually.
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's rate into this person. I have no idea who the fuck they are. All right, everybody. I hope you had a great time and enjoyed yourselves. We're gonna raid into someone now. So yeah, basically the whole motive of this chat is if you have a problem or task that you need to do, I honestly believe that you should try and do things yourself. It's easy, it's simple. Why not? You know, research and then just try it out. And if it doesn't work, then that's when you get someone in to help. But just make sure you don't get to the point where you fucked up too badly. So I hope you have a good night and day, depending on where you are in the world. Reggie, thank you very much for the information on your very knowledgeable pets. And we'll catch you later. Let's get going. All right. See you later.
See ya.